7 days until TikTok's next potential ban deadline. Okay, by the time you watch this, it might be 6 days or less, but I couldn't help myself. I'm Kate with Marketecture, and this is The Refresh, your weekly download on what went down in advertising. This week we're covering Perplexity's bid for TikTok, the Facebook feed going back to its roots, and Meta introducing principal-based media buying as a way to entice holding companies. So let's get into it. Deal or no deal? Perplexity re-upped its quest for TikTok's hand, saying, "You and me, we'd make a good team." Commentators have generally poo-pooed the deal, saying Perplexity does not have the cash and this is probably just a publicity stunt. This might be valid, but I think it too readily dismisses the proposal's potential to bring much-needed disruption to a social media landscape that has become stagnant and in many cases is decaying. Let's just imagine for a second that Perplexity is the one that gets to take TikTok home and not some billionaire. Here's what that could look like. Perplexity has proposed open sourcing the algorithm, which could enable transparency, faster development times, and encourage collaboration. Perplexity also wants to bridge what someone is searching for on their platform with the content that is surfaced on TikTok. For content creators, especially those in a niche area like ad tech, this could be a game changer. It means that content will be surfaced based on what someone is intentionally looking for, rather than what makes the algorithm feel warm and fuzzy. Maybe I'm just a sucker for the underdog, but you have to admit, the current experience on social media kinda sucks. I'm rooting for Perplexity to shake it up, even though it's more than likely they'll be handed the L. Moving over to Meta, who's decided to go back to its roots. Soon, Facebook users will have a dedicated tab that allows them to see content from their friends and family. Now, Meta isn't just doing this because they decided to listen to user feedback for once. They're doing it because profitability is at risk. Despite annual revenues being up significantly year over year and having the largest global user base of any other social platform, Meta is having a hard time keeping Facebook sticky. It seems like Facebook's execs are conceding to Occam's razor. The simplest solution, allowing users to see content from people they actually chose to connect to, is the most appropriate and obvious here. I'm curious to see how this plays out, because personally, at this point, I don't have friends on Facebook. I have family members who didn't make it into the group chat. Oh, no, not Pete Higgs. And then a whole slew of people that I forgot existed until their birthday comes around each year. Finally, in other Meta news, it sounds like they're getting into principal-based buying in an effort to secure more business with large holding companies. Quick refresher, principal-based buying is the practice of buying bulk inventory from a publisher and then reselling that to advertisers at a markup. Most people aren't super stoked on principal-based buying, but I'll lay out the arguments for and against it and let you decide. Those in favor say that buying inventory up front, in bulk, gives them better access to inventory selection, which could in turn lead to improved performance outcomes. This does imply that the inventory being purchased is of a higher quality to begin with. The other argument is that agencies are able to increase their profit margins. Those who argue against it say it diminishes transparency, risks client trust, and harms publishers and advertisers. Publishers don't get paid what their inventory is worth, and advertisers pay a premium. This is just my personal POV, but I think the markups that come with principal-based buying are largely considered a cost of doing business for clients of large holding companies. That's all we have time for today. If you need me, I'll just be over here trying to reconcile the fact that Benny Blanco wrote or produced many of the songs that define my entire college existence. Thanks for joining us for The Refresh, and we'll catch you next week.